Hi everyone, welcome back to video 6 here in Ryan Lelf's fundraising course. The tips that I'd like to cover today are, number one, I believe it's really important to give updates constantly. In fact, I erred on the side of updating people even more than maybe they would have liked or were requesting. And I don't just mean positive updates. Keep people in the loop as much as humanly possible. And depending on if you're willing to be public with your journey, you can give updates on Facebook like I did. But if you're using a crowdfunding site, there's also a way to give updates there. You can do it by writing out the update. You can post pictures in addition to the text. You can make videos, but keep people in the loop. Let them know specifically what is going on. Over communicate. Because again, most people aren't able to take the time to follow every post and every single thing that you're sharing. So don't feel worried about saying the same things multiple times or repeating the same update, because not everyone sees every update, every post, every picture, every video. And I felt like it was important for people to know whether or not what we were doing was working, or if we had figured out that it was not working, or if we were trying something else. I thought the more they knew about each day, each week, each month, my journey, where their money was going, that would include them as much as I possibly could in my healing journey, my adventure with cancer. So over communicate, update continually. I truly believe we're in a day and age where videos are very, very effective. Get out of your comfort zone. I know that's a lot to ask, but guess what? Maybe that is part of how you step into a new life of healing, is you do things that you're afraid of. You dig deep into this emotional healing and you find out why you might be apprehensive or scared to make a video when all you're doing is sharing from your heart. You're just telling people about what's going on with you. You really can't mess that up. It is what it is. So tip number one on this particular video here is update a lot. Update continually, update with pictures, update with videos, update with text. We also had a blog that we updated very often. Caroline would post even copies of blood work at times, so people could even learn about that and see some of the progress I was making, or realize why we still needed a lot more of something, because maybe my white blood cell count wasn't coming up like it needed to, or maybe we were still trying to figure out how to get my protein levels up. My point is that when you give people updates and you include them into the journey and they fully understand where the money's going to, why you need it, and why you continue to need it, you're just increasing the chances, increasing the odds of them giving to you. Can you raise money without doing this? Yes. But if you want to raise a lot more money, if you want to raise plenty of money to where you can lower some of the stress that you have, that you can have a little extra, that you can be able to do more things that you really want to do, you can try some additional treatments. Maybe you could even add extra days of IVs, or maybe you could buy even more organic fruits and veggies. Maybe you could even get a machine that you feel like would really help you for your home, but you just haven't been able to afford it. You're going to have to put this work in. This is a big tip of updating people continually. Language is the second tip on this video. Jim Rohn is famous for saying, don't be lazy in language. The words we use, how we use them, and the way we communicate can make a massive difference. I constantly checked my heart and made sure that I did not put expectations on anyone. I constantly checked my heart that I didn't get angry or upset, or I didn't communicate bitterness or frustration. It was very important that I communicated in a way that came from a place of gratitude, of thanking people no matter what their decision was, of not having any expectations on anyone, and truly being authentic, specific, and being willing to face criticism. You know, I think sometimes we change our language up out of a fear of what someone might say, or out of fear that people might criticize us. Folks, it isn't going to matter what you say, how you say it, or in which way. There's always going to be someone who's miserable, who has self-hatred, who's going through a tough time in their life, and they're going to be critical either way. I didn't have time to worry about that. What I needed to do was communicate in the best way I knew possible. And that was to be real, to be transparent, to be authentic, and to tell people like it was. And if they couldn't handle the truth and they couldn't accept that, then so be it. But the masses, for the most part, embraced my authenticity. They embraced my journey. They got awakened to really how much money it really does take if you're really going to buy into healing. They embraced the idea that this was a steep learning curve. You know, one of the blogs my wife's going to be writing here shortly. Now, by the time you watch this, she may have already written it. But of course, with what we know now, we're going to write a blog on how much money we believe we could have saved if we knew what we knew today back then when I got diagnosed and early on with my adventure with cancer. But folks, there's no way for us to have known those things until we went through the experience. You're going to raise some money and then use it, and then later realize that that maybe wasn't the best place to use it. Just go ahead and embrace the messiness. I've never had one single person who actually donated money to me ever request their money back, even though I've told people from the beginning, if you ever want a documented list of where the money went, if you ever want your money back, just show us proof of how much you donated and which vehicle you used, crowdfunding or PayPal or wrote a check or cash, and we will be happy to give it back to you. Most people are giving it to you because they truly want to. They feel compelled in their heart. It's a great way to live in generosity. So don't let criticism, don't let someone being ugly, don't let someone not understanding your journey, don't let someone who has not taken the time to really comprehend how much money this cost to not be able to work, to still be able to cover your expenses, to pay for all the stuff that you want to do that's not covered by insurance, to pay for your out-of-pocket insurance expenses. I mean, it costs money. Don't let anyone give you a hard time about that. Stay true to yourself. Use language that most people can understand. Communicate in a very simple but concise manner and way. And then just let criticism roll off your back like water on a duck. And remember that the only way any of us can criticize another is if we first are at some level of misery in our own life, if we have some level of self-hatred. It's our own wrestling with our own insecurities, our own fears, our own frustration about circumstances that causes ugliness and messiness and bloodiness to come at other people. Please remember that as you're communicating, asking for money, and continuing down this journey. No one has any idea how long it's going to take. Every person's different. Every story's different. There is a mystery, as I talked to you about earlier. And as you see some of these pictures coming through the videos, as you read some of the PDF files and the text that we've included, try to remember that even if you're dealing with cancer, I've never spent one day in your shoes. I can relate on some level just because I maybe went through something similar. But no one person can ever relate with any other one person, because we're all unique, our journeys are unique. Everything that's happened to us prior to this health scare, this death sentence, this cancer, this disease, it's unique, it's different, and embrace that. Tip number 3 is I really want to encourage you to use videos. I remember some of the most watched videos I had were me going off on some rants, or me literally being in tears because I was in so much pain and we could not figure out this fluid problem. We could not seem to figure out how to get me comfortable so I could sleep at night. This was a big deal, and people could they could relate. Maybe they had been through a painful experience in their own life, maybe not just physically, but maybe they'd been through a divorce or a loss of a child, or maybe they'd been through a car accident or something that was really, really hard. And they didn't have words, but maybe they could donate $50. Maybe they could send a bottle of essential oils. Maybe they could pay for a supplement we needed, through Amazon. Maybe they could give some money to my naturopath office where I could get a couple of IVs for free. See, folks, we all have way more in common than we do differences. And videos bring life to the story. Pictures bring life to the story. They get to hear the tone of voice we have. They get to hear the inflection in our voice. They get to see us from around the world, from other states, because maybe they weren't able to physically stop by. It was important that they see my physical condition, that they see the tears flowing from my eyes, but at the same time, my strength, my joy, my attitude, and my willingness to keep going, to keep trying to figure it out. And I reminded people that if they donated, if they contributed, and I was fortunate enough to find this healing path and I was able to live, that they would get to have the satisfaction of knowing that I was going to spend a lot of my life paying it forward, just like I am right now. I want you to know, if you donated to me, if you contributed to me, you can take satisfaction in knowing that when these videos and these PDFs and these pictures get in the hands of people around the world, if it helps them raise money and then ultimately helps them live longer or saves their life or helps them have the funds and resources to find optimal health again, if you donated to me, you contributed to them. It's the ripple effect, and it's powerful. So update constantly. Don't be lazy in your language, and use videos. Even if you don't think you're very good behind the camera, even if you just have a smartphone that you don't think's very fancy, and even if you're a little nervous or scared, just be yourself. Put yourself out there and watch the miracles that begin to happen. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for tuning in.